team. Albert at fullback. Gardner comes in on the wing. Gleeson, Newlove, Stewart, Sculthorpe and Hyam. There's no Long there. There's no Martin. He's on the bench. Britt, Cunningham, Nicol, Bennett, Stankiewicz, Shields. That means the captain Chris Joynt's on the bench with Sean Hoppy, Barry Ward and Tommy Martin. The coach is Ian Millwood. Fantastic following though from St Helens. These two towns not separated by too many miles, and St Helens and their supporters travel full of hope and of course sitting at the top of the pile. Wigan aiming to knock them off. Radlinski their fullback, Carney, Hodgson, Connolly, Ainscough, O'Neill and Lamb. The forwards: O'Connor, Newton, Smith, Cassidy, Tickle, David Ferner, an operation on the knee, Andy Farrell the captain, and on the bench it's Howard, Mark Smith, O'Loughlin and Danny Sculthorpe, the younger brother of Paul Sculthorpe, who'll be making his Wigan debut if he gets on today for coach Stuart Raper. At the other end of the stadium, the banks with Wigan fans, and there is the Wigan coach Stuart Raper, and out comes his captain Andy Farrell for one of the most significant games of the season.
Chock-a-block full of stars. We should get another classic.
Well, Wigan took the title in '98 in the inaugural grand final season. In fact, 4 of the 6 Super League titles have gone to either Wigan or St Helens since 1996. That is the sort of quality that we're watching here on Sky Sports this afternoon. Wigan have made it to the Old Trafford Grand Final for each of the past 2 years. They want to make it 3 in a row, and this time they want to go there and win. Match is underway, and St Helens disjointed and 1 or 2 star names sitting on the bench, but they will give it their best shot. Don't worry about that.
Well, it's interesting to know whether the Saints coach Ian Millwood has just done that as a tactic, or whether some of the stars that are on the bench there are carrying injury. We'll soon find out.
The ball is wide, and this is Anthony Stewart, who is grounded by Brian Carney. Saints are just over the halfway line, in possession here with Peter Shields. He does well to offload, and here now is Sonny Nicol. Nicol trying to dance his way away from Mick Cassidy, can't do so. And Ian Millwood, the St Helens coach, he named a totally different side this morning, but maybe 1 or 2 last-minute injuries and last-minute decisions to be made. Well claimed though by Brian Carney out there on the wing. That ball hung in the sunlight and Carney did well to pick it up. Here now goes Radlinski from dummy half.
Good tactics by the Saints. Obviously utilising that sun was a problem for Carney, but he took it ever so well. You look at both sides, it's pretty tough in the forwards, and there's wonderful experience in the 3 quarters. But you've got to say, is there a doubt against Darren Britt? There's rumours that he has started this game, Eddie, with a bad injury.
Well, he's only just back in the side. He's played 1 of the last 5. St Helens being hit a little bit by injury. Sean Long has got his knee in a brace, and rumours abound that he might have gone for the rest of the season. That certainly wasn't the case as far as Ian Millwood was concerned this morning. This, though, is Adrian Gardner. He's tackled by Adrian Lamb. And now it's Darren Albert.
Russell Smith, the official, quite happy to let Wigan just hang around on the ball carrier.
Cunningham gets the pass away. Stuart Raper, tense yesterday when I spoke to him. He was just a little concerned about this match, I think, as they all are when they play the Saints because of this. Gleeson gets the ball away to Hyam.
What a
tackled by Radlinski.
It had to be as well. That was superb handling by the Saints.
And they have the overlap down here. Gleeson steps inside, gets it away to Gardner. He tries to keep the movement going. It was just in front of Sculthorpe, and Cassidy will pick it up. Well, what a start.
Blistering work from the Saints. Gleeson offloading there to the young winger.
What a season Martin Gleeson has had for St Helens. This is Danny Tickle.
Bit of a wake-up call there, though, for the Wigan defence, who were caught twice on that short blindside. Saints utilise it. They've done it all this year.
Farrell trying to bust his way through. Stankiewicz stuck to him. Newton. Here goes Terry O'Connor. And Saints are caught offside. Moving up too quickly in the play of the ball. They have to stand back 10 metres.
Well, had everyone on the side to pick from, apart from the full-back Darren Albert. That was the culprit as far as the referee Russell Smith was concerned, Sonny Nicol. And that's a lost ball. That'll be play on. That was a great hit.
Craig Smith lost it. St Helens have got it back.
Well, he didn't have the best of games last week against Hull. Came up with a lot of errors. And that will not be pleasing the coach Stuart Raper, especially in such a big game like this.
Here is Darren Britt. And it's Wigan now who are caught offside.
Tit for tat, making sure that he's in full control, Russell Smith. And will they go for the two?
Well, Sculthorpe has the ball. It's a long pitch, this, though.
And there was quite a few certainly offside there, but it just shows you the talented and the confidence that this Saints side have. Could have gone for the 2 points, pretty important in such a big game, but they want the football. They want to stretch this Wigan defence yet again.
Darren Britt gets to his feet. He's 18 metres away. Cunningham fires the pass to Sculthorpe. It goes wide. And that's Paul Newlove, and he is grounded by Gary Connolly. Here is Anthony Stewart now. Slips on that far side, but they're 5 metres away. Quick play the ball. Sculthorpe nearly through. Very important tackle by Terry Newton, that was. Cunningham again. Cunningham gets the ball away. He's dropped it, though.
Now then, was Andy Farrell offside? He was very quick to get into that position.
Darren Britt has been adjudged to have dropped the ball.
Good scrambling defence by the Warriors, it had to be as well. St Helens have really started so well indeed. And I get the impression that Andy Farrell went early.
Nice and steady.
And was it an offside? But look at that. Surely the officials have picked that up.
Well, they haven't.
I mean, the Wigan captain had set off well before they played the ball.
Adrian Lamb feeds the scrum, gets the possession, finds David Hodgson. Apart from the significance of the 2 points on offer here, there are 1 or 2 very, very significant personal battles as well, as Ainscough drops the pass. It was behind him, to be fair. This is Britt. He gets the ball away, and this is Bennett.
Good play again. They're working that very short pass off the first receiver.
Peter Shields. Oh, another slip from him around the ankles of Julian O'Neill, who's directing the defensive traffic out wide. Britt's coming at them out there. And Britt is held up just 3 metres short of the line. Paul Newlove waits at dummy half. Back it goes to Paul Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe then flings the passing field to Cunningham. He gets it away to Bennett, and Bennett drops it, but here is a penalty for St Helens. Miles offside against Andy Farrell this time, says the referee, Russell Smith.
Well, I just wonder whether that's payback time for the one that he missed earlier, and you can see yet again that's the second occasion that the Wigan skipper, well, that's rather foolish. He got away with it once, Eddie, but right in front of the sticks. This is a gift 2 point for the Saints. They look a bit rattled to the Warriors.
Yes, I'm sure that Sculthorpe will take the 2 on offer this time. Paul Sculthorpe, one of the significant personal battles I was talking about is between him and Adrian Lamb here tonight. I wonder whether it's a question of Sculthorpe or Lamb for the coveted Man of Steel award this year. Sculthorpe, of course, winner in 2001, a hot favourite in 2002, but Lamb has been doing so well for Wigan this year. A big game here would maybe tip the scales one or the other's way.
Well, they are the favourites according to the media, and they're the guys that count. And as you say, Eddie, they've had magnificent seasons. They have led by example. Especially Adrian Lamb with a responsibility when Andy Farrell was injured. He really lifted his game even more. Not many thought it possible, but he certainly did.
Sculthorpe's been doing it all year for St Helens, and he has got the first points on the board here for the men from Knowsley Road. The top try scorers of Super League, the leading point scorers of Super League, St Helens.
Look at this here. Watch him get through, and then Farrell's away before he even... Look at that. Farrell is nearly in the St Helens lineup before it's actually played with a foot, and that's on the second occasion. That's the one where he got caught out.
Sonny Nicol to drive the ball forward for St Helens again. Cassidy is after him. Wigan, of course, beaten by Hull last Saturday. It appears now
we
that
lost that.
two ambitions have gone. Albert with the mistake.
Just too eager to get on with it. And full credit to either side. The speed of this match in the opening minutes, exhilarating.
It is so. Wigan with the scrum feed. Lamb gives it to Radlinski, who tries to skirt round Sculthorpe, but Gleeson was there. Hodgson waits at dummy half. Here comes Craig Smith again. Big hit on him by Darren Britt. Newton, the dummy half, waits. Gives it then to O'Connor. O'Connor to Lamb. Lovely movement with Farrell. And on all fours, Farrell nearly gets over the line. Penalty now for for Wigan. St Helens offside under their sticks.
Good refereeing there by Russell Smith. He allowed the advantage. Neat little short inside pass though from Wigan. It was a set move.
Well, Sculthorpe and Cunningham there, we were told before the kick-off with Chris Joint on the bench, they are joint captains on the field today.
Well, it was quite clear, not only were they offside, they came out of the box a bit too early. And just having a quiet word to Russell Smith, but in games like this, you need the experienced referees. And he's certainly the best one we've got. Ian Millwood, happy with the 2 points, but I think he'll be more pleased with the way that Saints have kept this ball alive.
I mentioned Stuart Raper's Wigan were beaten by Hull last week. Their top two ambitions look over, but it's Saints today, Bradford away next week, and then Leeds at home to round off the weekly programme. So it's not over yet, they will tell you in Wigan. Julian O'Neill has the St Helens supporters baiting him. He's bang in front of the sticks though. He shouldn't miss this. And he doesn't. It's 2-2 at the JJB Stadium. Wigan against St Helens.
And both coaches will realise that those 2 points are vital. It'll feel a little bit easier now, Stuart Raper, than the fact that they have scored that penalty. The pressure out here, you can just absolutely cut it with a knife.
Don't get in front here, lads.
So 2-2, a goal kick apiece. High hanging kick off, and underneath it is Carney. And he picks it up. Great chase from the kick-off though, led by Sonny Nicol and also Kieran Cunningham. The defence is eager. Leeds and Bradford set the pattern for this match on Friday evening, you know, on Sky Sports. And here goes Hodgson. Oof, big collision with Darren Albert over the top. Iron was round his ankles. Newton. Albert's after him again.
Great defence from Saints. They're really powering through Wigan. Switching the play yet again.
Cassidy offloads to Farrell. Gleeson gets to him though. There was nowhere for Farrell to go then. It's the last tackle here for Wigan. It's with Lamb, who'll hoist the kick out wide. It's another one for Carney to chase.
Oh, it bobbled away. Has he got him in touch? Yes.
Yes, he has. Stewart saying he was not over the line. The touch judge says he was.
There's no point in arguing. Fascinates me, this. You can shake your head and argue all you want. Once the flag goes up, he's not going to change it. Let's see whether that's where he juggled it. Good pressure there from Brian Carney. And then his foot hits the whitewash. Saints fans say it didn't. Touch judge is barely a metre away, and he wants him on the blind side. Will Wigan work that move? Will it be picked up by Farrell at the base of the scrum? Will Lamb come the open and Farrell on the blind? Oh, they're into it. They're throwing him in the pack.
Well, frustration for St Helens. And the referee wants a word with Mike Bennett and Terry Newton.
Listen. When we're in there, we're in for 10 minutes of a derby match, I know. Let's just steady on, get on with it and play the game. Come on.
Wise words indeed. Eddie, you pointed out the fact that there's rumours about Sean Long being finished for the season. Maybe that's the reason why he wanted to start with Hyam.
Maybe so. That's a lovely run from O'Neill. Wigan are in for the first try. St Helens fans on their feet, booing and pointing the finger at Russell Smith. It was his touch judge who gave the decision, and he was absolutely right. The toe was on the line. That's enough. They're unhappy, but Wigan are delighted because O'Neill has just scored the first try of this match.
And he's asking for the football. He says, come on, fellas, where is it? I've scored the try, I've got the 4, and I want to turn it into 6. But what a great effort. Do you know, at the start of this season, a lot were critical about Julian O'Neill. He certainly didn't look fit. He certainly had a few extra pounds. This is the incident. Look at the left foot. It hits the whitewash. Look at the great position of the touch judge. St Helens fans, they can carp all they want, but that was a wonderful effort. It looked as though he was going to come on the arc, and then he just accelerated. What a try in such a tense game like this.
Well, you mentioned Julian O'Neill's problems at the start of the season, Steve-O. He had an absolute nightmare in the 19-0 defeat against St Helens at Knowsley Road in April. He came of age for Wigan in the cup final.
Yep.
And he has produced the goods here this afternoon so far.
Well, he's dug deep and he's done the hard work, and you could see there the explosive speed that got him through.
Anthony Stewart, a man whose toe was in touch. O'Neill adds 2 more, and Wigan are ahead by 8 points to 2.
Well, he barely got a fingertip onto this fella.
It's all Julian O'Neill, by the way. 8 for O'Neill, 2 for St Helens and Ian Minwood.
He'll be somewhat concerned, especially the way and the ease that the standoff just carved away on that arc through the defence of the Saints line. And maybe the gamble at starting with the youngsters and leaving the experience on the bench has not paid off at this point.
Well, it is a very experienced bench that Ian Millwood has at his disposal should things start go even worse wrong. London are ahead 4-0 over Hull. All these matches, of course, being played same time as this. 6-2 for the bottom club. Salford over another of the relegation-threatened Halifax, and Warrington are ahead 12-0 against Castleford. And don't forget, all the results and league tables available on Sky Sports News Channel 408. And of course on Sky Text. Wakefield Widnes, which is also being played this afternoon, will finish after we have finished here at the JJB Stadium. But a significant afternoon developing in the Super League.
Yeah, it's tense all the way around, isn't it? And it's tense out there. Russell Smith is having a devil of a job to get them back the 10 metres. They're so eager to get into the face of each other.
Sculthorpe with a crossfield kick that will bobble its way eventually into the arms of Brian Carney. And the Irishman is faced by Sculthorpe. He has such upper body strength for, I was going to call him a small man. He's not the biggest man, Brian Carney. A will-o'-the-wisp from Ireland.
What if he's not big? You can call him small. I'll let you do that.
Medium. Farrell, fed by Cassidy.
Good tackle by Mickey Hyam. It had to be as well. Just trail low down.
Ainscough onto Lamb. They're trying to stretch St Helens out wide. This is Gary Connolly. He gets the ball away to Carney, and Carney will come back this way. Thought about releasing the pass to O'Neill, but saw there was a St Helens man stood in the line. O'Neill dummy half.
Surely this will be the high one.
Lamb will hoist the kick. Good kick too. It's a tester for Adrian Gardner. Oh, he stood his ground well. Must have heard Cassidy and Hodgson coming at him.
Eyes on the ball all time. That was a great effort. Under a lot of pressure. They really piled onto him. Hodgson got there first.
Tommy Martin on the bench, Sean Hoppy on the bench, Chris Joint on the bench. Such experience alongside Danny Sculthorpe, of course. Alongside Danny Sculthorpe is on the Wigan bench. Alongside Barry Ward is the name I'm searching for. Oh, that was risky.
Went backwards.
It came off the Wigan man, Adrian Lamb, in my opinion.
Well, that's why he's played the advantage. St Helens received the ball back. Oh, this is ferocious. And it's pretty warm out there. How much petrol in the tank late in this game.
He didn't wipe the tackle count down there, despite the fact that Lamb did get a touch on that ball. Saints are running it on the last. It's out wide, and Stewart has backed himself. It's a big hoof over the top. Radlinski's after it. It runs touch and goal.
What about effort? But I think he already realised that the experience of Chris Radlinski had covered that kick. Just a little bit too strong. Words of wisdom being sent down there by Ian Millward. And I think there probably will be, look, just play it a little bit safer.
Wait, lads.
They really should have gone for the option of the high bomb.
Adrian Lamb on the charge now. Lamb couldn't get the ball away, and he's in touch. It was good defensive work from Darren Albert. Lamb forced over the line into touch. Raper looking anxiously on. Chance goes a begging. Phil Clark on the side. Fantastic atmosphere.
It is. Not only do Wigan have that 8-2 lead, but I think psychologically the lead in this game is certainly preventing Saints from getting a roll on. And now you see shifting the ball wide to try and get around this Wigan defence, and I think that'll be the first goal achieved for Stuart Raper and his team. And I think the other thing they did remarkably well in the first 10 minutes, and it's a difficult thing to do when you're playing St Helens, is prevent them from scoring when they're close attacking your own line. I know they conceded a penalty of 2 points, but the first 2 charges, the hell what Saints had to throw at them.
Here comes another charge now, and that bounced off the face of Albert. It's play on, and here come Wigan with the captain Farrell.
Quick play the ball here, there's a mistake. Just popped up nicely for them.
Wigan on a roll at the moment with Craig Smith, tackled by Mickey Hyam. Gets to his feet, plays the ball to Newton. Oh, that looked forward to O'Connor. It's now with Lamb, and Lamb to O'Neill. O'Neill nearly through, just hauled down.
No second phase, he had the chance to offload, but that's a great run from the prop forward.
Terry O'Connor to within 10 metres of the St Helens line.
St.
Three
Helens,
tackles gone.
St Helens very slow to get their one line of defence sorted. What a tackle from Nickel.
Nickel on Lamb. Newton Farrell wanted it, and he gets there, but has he got it down? It's a decision for Jerry Kershaw, today's video referee, but Farrell believes he scored.
So do I. The wrist and the forearm is full control. You look at it from another angle, but this looks okay. And that was all brought about. That's all right. He's still got the arm on it as far as I'm concerned. Mr. Kershaw has got to decide, but I think it's TRY time. But the way they forced and run onto that ball was terrific.
Andrew Farrell has just scored the 100th try of his glorious career.
And
100.
What an effort, Eddie. One of the stars of our game, obviously. Great Britain skipper. And he has come up with a try at the most crucial time in this game. They hung off there. It wasn't the best defence. They could not fill in. They allowed Newton all that space. When he does that, you could see them hesitate. Hyam tried his best, but the weight and the strength of the Warriors captain got him over. But what a build-up from the Wigan outfit.
So Julian O'Neill now to try and add the extras to Andrew Farrell's 100th try. What a comeback to Super League for Farrell. A try now in the last 5 matches. And O'Neill here, despite the fact that Farrell is back in the side, he has retained the kicking duties. And there's a bit of a conference going on behind the St Helens line, as O'Neill adds 2 more points. It's 14-2 to Wigan.
Pretty impressive lead as well. Of course, St Helens, 2 mistakes that brought up the try. This is the second one from the fullback Darren Albert. It was a delayed pass by Kieran Cunningham, and from that position, didn't they drive forward well? 50-metre gain before this fella dived over the line. It's a long way to go. Long, long, high climb for the Saints. But never write them off.
Tommy Martin has come on for Sonny Nicol. Just trying to work out. I'm sure Sonny Nicol won't be operating a prop forward, so there'll be yet another rejig. But Tommy Martin is there. Did I say Sonny Nicol doesn't operate a prop forward? Of course he does. He won't be now because he's on the bench. But Tommy Martin won't either. Mind you, not a bad tackle on Danny Tickle. Look at this head-to-head over 30 years. And they've only lost 10 in 30 years of league football in Wigan against St Helens. In Super League, though, these two sides have been so dominant in the competition, it's a little closer. Dab to the corner is too deep for Wigan.
Only just. He knows this ground. In the back of his hand is in superb form. Good pressure kick. But I mentioned the fact you get the roll on Eddie, but it's just the hard work that you see from the likes of Terry O'Connor. He made a wonderful 30-yard break. Quick play the ball, it caught the Saints defence all at sea.
Hyam gets the ball away to Bennett. He plays the ball to Albert. This now is Sculthorpe. Here is Stankovic wide to Gleeson. Gleeson trying to jink his way around Hodgson. Hodgson, though, and Terry Newton get him down. Stankovic is dummy half. Saints 20 metres away with Sculthorpe. Oh, and they didn't close him down, Peter Shields. Now they do, but 10 metres away from their line.
Julian O'Neill going high, falling off. They're in a lot of trouble. They've come out of the one line of defence.
Tommy Martin tried to get the ball away. It was on the last. And Wigan have it back.
Well, they went for the power play, but he will be furious that there was no one there. They really should have been that second phase of attack. They know Tommy Martin's quality. He always twists in the tackle. We have seen him offload some superb passes throughout this season.
Here is Terry O'Connor. 249th career game for O'Connor tonight. I keep saying tonight, we're not used to working in the afternoon, are we?
Still seems pretty late to me.
Give it 10, Terry.
Chip over the top. And here is Gardner, who's missed the last 4 for St Helens, but surprisingly on from the start here this afternoon.
Just a little bit more composure is needed by the St Helens side, and take a leaf out of the book from Wigan, especially their forwards. Start a little bit more penetration up the middle and then try to drag in the sliding defence into the central part of the field.
Here is Peter Shields. Craig Smith gets to him with help from Tickle. He's brought down. Cunningham, Sculthorpe, good ball to Bennett, but the trap was sprung by Cassidy and Farrell. Last tackle for St Helens. A little fumble and a knock on by Mickey Hyam.
On the last, so that'll be the turnover. Just a little. He thinks he's caught it, but not according to the official Russell Smith.
I'm not so sure. I don't know whether that touched the ground, Steve. I think Mickey Hyam might have been undone here.
No, it did. Just slightly. Well spotted by Mr. Smith. He's not impressed here, Millwood. As I mentioned, that's the 3rd occasion that they've got into a position to attack Wigan and have not utilised the kick to its full advantage. You have got to apply that pressure.
Still 4-0 at Brentford. London over Hull. Halifax have come back against Salford. It's desperate at the bottom, it really is. And Castleford are clawing back against Warrington, but it's still a 10-point lead at Wilderspool. Here come Wigan again with Radlinski. Wrestled to the ground by Martin. 14-2 here. The captain's about to come on for the Saints as O'Connor drives it in again. Stankovic with the tackle. Newton to Lamb. Back on the inside it goes to Farrell. He's wrestled to the ground.
Stankovic really read it ever so well then.
Adrian Lamb with a drop of the shoulder. Almost through. Bennett doing well. And Darren Brick doing well. And they've got the penalty, I think, here, Wigan. Interference, not allowing the grounded player to get back to his feet. They'll take 2, I'm sure.
Little doubt about that. And he has to penalise him. Look, he's still got hold of the little half-back's leg. And that is just a sign of tiredness. Stuart Raper, of course, he'll be saying, take the two, nice and steady. And he's also perhaps getting the message out, Eddie, that try to follow this up. If it hits the post or the crossbar, it can bounce back. But what a time for Chris Joynt to make his entrance into this game. They need some person out there to just calm them down and control things. They're losing the plot slightly.
Yes, Joynt is on, and it's Darren Britt, the man he has replaced. So that's Sonny Nicol and Darren Britt off, the two starting prop forwards. You know, this is a great fixture, Wigan and St Helens. They've met St Helens in 5 Challenge Cup finals. Wigan have won 3. The 2000 Grand Final, which St Helens won. 4 Premiership finals, 3 of them went Wigan's way. The old Regal Trophy final in 1996, Wigan won that as well. Finals littering the history of fixtures between these two, but whenever they meet, on whatever occasion, it's the victory on the day that counts, and this is no different. And Julian O'Neill here with the opportunity for 2 more, which he accepts gleefully. 16-2.
And they'll take them all night, or should I say all day.
You're at it now.
I'm dropping into the same thing as you.
Well, I suppose you only came home with the milkman, did you, this morning? So
you know I don't drink milk.
Stay back, lads. Stay behind.
Packed crowd though at the JJB Stadium, enjoying this. At least the Wigan half of the crowd are.
Let's get them low.
And Harvey Howard's on for Wigan.
Sorry, mate.
O'Connor.
Look at the
yards
work.
again.
Look at the work that this guy's doing. He really is on the boil.
Oh, Adrian Lamb on the break. He's got support. Out wide the support. It came from O'Neill. And Julian O'Neill is turning this into a personal triumph. It's his 2nd try of the match. It was laid on a plate by Lamb, but he still had to sprint 50 metres to score it, with St Helens trailing in his wake. O'Neill has come good on the best day possible for the Wigan fans. And Stuart Raper, he looks calm despite the fact that the instructions are going to pitch side, but it's going away from St Helens dramatically.
Quality there from Lamb. He just stood up. Chris Joynt. So easy. And the man that a lot of the Wigan fans thought was too heavy, too slow. Watch this. This fella isn't. Confident as soon as he got the ball. Never even bothered to look whether there was going to be any support. He knew that as soon as he hit the breadbasket, boom, he was on the way to the line. Great try. And this is becoming a personal triumph for this fella.
It is. He's involved in everything. Scoring 2 tries, kicking goals. The Wigan fans will be delighted. And that's the St Helens fans. They look a little bit glum and grumpy at the moment, don't they? There is one young Wigan fan in the crowd this afternoon. Jake Perry Gerard. He's only 7 years of age. He has made the papers in this part of the world this week. Apparently his mum took ill in the bath earlier and he saved her. He saved her life, and he was brought to meet us before the kick-off. Brave young man, and I'm sure that this afternoon he is feeling very proud not only of himself but also of his team, which are taking the Saints to the cleaners at the moment. And O'Neill adds 2 more points. 22-2. It could be all over for Saints. Who dare say that?
When you're on the roll, you can't hesitate. You see Chris Joynt there, just hangs back. Boom. As soon as he slips, he was on. Support was supreme, wasn't it? Another 4 for this guy. And the way that Wigan are playing, Julian O'Neill will be feeling pretty confident to make it a hat-trick.
Well, I think St Helens have got a few problems. Mick Hyam, as you can see, has gone off, and Bill has got some news of him.
Well, Mick Hyam, while Julian O'Neill was lining up that conversion, was led from the field with blood streaming from a cut to his head. He's gone straight to the dressing room for stitches, you'd imagine. So Saints, who started with a problem with Sean Long absent, had Hyam in there as a scrum half acting for him, have got another problem now trying to fill that role.
Well, Tommy Martin's out there, fortunately, and Sculthorpe operating at standoff. But it's all got a little pear-shaped for St Helens in the opening half hour. And here goes Terry O'Connor again. And Wigan with 10 breaks. Tommy Martin knocked that on. It's back to 0 in the tackle count.
Just not going for them at all. Little half-back Lamb has picked up a bit of a knock.
And here goes Farrell. Stankovic bounced off him.
This is the incident there. Tommy Martin nearly taking the Terry O'Connor pass.
7 handling errors, though, from St Helens in half an hour.
I said it before, Eddie. It was a big gamble what Ian Millwood did to put the youngsters out, and it has not paid off. They're in real trouble.
Oh, Hodgson, and he's got Ainsko outside him. Ainsko cuts inside and scores another. Wigan are ripping St Helens to shreds. Ainsko, he didn't really do it at Hull last week. Stuart Raper was furious at the end of the game, you might remember. It took a little bit of the gloss off an excellent Hull performance. But he called them in for early morning training last Sunday at 8 AM, and he wagged the finger at some of his senior professionals. Looks like the medicine's worked.
Again, look at that defence just hanging off. You can't afford to do that. Bit dubious, perhaps, the pass from Chris Radlinski, but it made no difference according to the official Russell Smith. And David Hodgson fed the winger who stepped back on the inside. Involved in it twice with the fullback. Maybe there was a bit of doubt about that pass, but that was good work, wasn't it? Neat step. You could see the cover defence coming across. And this St Helens defence is just hanging back, and this is what it means to the Wigan fans. They are loving this, and so's this guy.
Bradford aren't playing today, but St Helens started with a 30-point superior points difference. And without playing, Bradford could go top of the table this evening, the way this is going. O'Neill with the opportunity to add 2 more. That's the angle that O'Neill has. Right-footed. 2 more points to the St Helens total. 28 points to 2. I don't think many could have predicted this.
I don't think the Saints players will. They are absolutely stunned.
Julian O'Neill, 20 of the 28 points. And Ian Millwood and John Sharp, the coaching partnership at Knowsley Road, look a little bit perplexed.
Well, there comes a time, I suppose, the player in the season says, well, I haven't got a watch. And I don't think Julian's won one yet, has he?
Do you know, I don't think he has. The watch, of course, going to the man of the match. There's an early hint as to where Steve-O's vote's going. I wonder if Phil has made up his mind yet. Phil?
I think it's been pretty good performers in the cherry and white on the Wigan side, haven't they? And I fear a little bit for St Helens. I don't think there's anything that they can do to get back into the game. The only thing they can hope is that we can invite them back into the game, and I think that that's what Stuart Raper will be fearful of at the moment. They haven't done it in this set. They control the ball well, but if Wigan do start to turn over possession inside their own half, it could lead to problems and invite this St Helens side back into the match.
Wakefield, you might have just seen just ahead against Widnes. The chip over the top has come up for Newton, flicked out the back door. They're still in play on the last. They're running it. They've got men in support. Hodgson! Hodgson's in for Wigan. What a try. It's not given yet. It isn't given yet.
After the kick,
just wants to check what has happened just after the kick. Was there a knock on or wasn't there?
Well, was he onside as well? He may have been just a touch in front of the kicker. I'm sure the video referee will look at that also.
Don't think he's called for that, Russell Smith.
That's all right. He spins around. Yeah, that's going backwards.
It's a pass out the back door, isn't it?
Yep. He drags it before it hits the ground. That's perhaps the reason why Russell Smith wanted to just make sure. And he's behind him, and that's all right. Doesn't hit the ground. This will be TRY. And listen to this crowd here at the JJB Stadium. They will go bananas. To win a game is one thing. To be in such a commanding lead against your...
Try is given. David Hodgson with the latest Wigan try. The 5th of this first half. And I'll tell you something, if O'Neill kicks this goal, Bradford go top of the table.
Well, the chip over the top. I honestly felt Rydlinski was offside, but I don't think Rydlinski touches it. But was he involved in the play? Either way, you heard Eddie say Russell Smith didn't want to go to the video on that particular thing. He thought there might have been a knock-on from Terry Newton. Didn't touch it. Newton got to it. Well, they went the power play, and that's the confidence that they've got. Hodgson in for the try. The point I was trying to make Eddie before the TRY came up on the screen is the fact that to win any game is wonderful, but against a foe like the Saints.
O'Neill for the extras. That wipes out St Helens' points advantage at the top of the table, and if it stays like this, Bradford will go top. At the moment, they are top of the tree.
They'll be dancing in the streets in Bradford as well. Who would have thought it? It looked as though perhaps Bradford realised that the points difference may just change away. And no one in the right mind in such a big game like this, Eddie, would have believed that Wigan could score so many points in the first half.
Arguably their best 40 minutes of football of the year from Wigan. And Ian Millwood's on his way down from the main stand here, and it'll be very interesting to see what his team talk at half-time comprises of this time. Wide again to O'Neill, and Newlove with the tackle.
Well, we were surprised, Eddie, that...
Look at this, 18 minutes in the opposition half Wigan. St Helens only in the opposition half for 4 minutes when they've had the ball in their hand.
It shows you the quality of the Warriors, that their ability to keep this ball alive. And look how they're standing off yet again, this defence. It's becoming a nightmare for them. That's one thing that Ian Millwood has to shore up at half-time, and a bit more enthusiasm.
Darren Albert got a crack then from Jamie Ainsco's tackle. It was at the top of the thigh, that's what he's holding. Tommy Martin. Wigan hunting the man in possession with the ball.
Getting back to that game at Hull last week, Stuart Raper made it quite clear that some of his big stars should have a little look in the mirror.
I don't think the mirror's cracked this week. Sculthorpe.
And I bet they had a long-lasting look. It was pretty high. And Paul Scully doesn't like it.
It's Harvey Howard.
Yeah. Straight in the mush, no doubt about it. Not surprisingly, Sculthorpe felt it. Well, I think he's a lucky boy.
Well, can St Helens give their supporters something to shout about just before half-time?
They're desperate for points, that's for sure.
Cunningham attacking the line as he does so often, and Wigan 34-2 up. It could be just 4-2 the way they're defending that line. They've got it back with Khan. No, they haven't. A knock-on.
He took a huge gamble there. And I'm surprised that he has taken a gamble. When you're leading the game 34 points to 2, he took a gamble of getting right out of the line. If he'd have missed it, would have been an easy 4-pointer for Anthony Stewart. And he still looks concerned. Stuart Raper, he's well aware about this St Helens side, the quality, especially when they keep this ball alive.
Terry O'Connor is injured.
He's had a great first half.
It's his Is it a touch of cramp, maybe? He's had real problems with an ankle injury for a while, and Andy Farrell is off.
Let's get out of it.
Farrell's sitting on the bench now.
Well, does that mean that Stuart Raper thinks that this game is already locked up, the 2 points?
Well, it would be an incredible comeback if St Helens do it, but you never say never against the Saints, do you?
Too true.
Sculthorpe wide to Gleeson. Gleeson's backed himself, and he gets the try. They've got the try on half-time through Martin Gleeson. Well, it puts a slightly different emphasis on the scoreboard, but not much.
You've got to test your arm. That was great play. Cunningham taking the role as the feeding the strum and then getting away from it. And Wigan went to sleep. There's Cunningham peeling off the back there. Sculthorpe long pass. And Gleeson threw the dummy. They really should have gone for the legs, and they paid the price. A glimmer of hope, and he said, oh no. That is not what we ordered.
Oh, it was almost a faultless first 40 minutes for Wigan, but Gleeson finding a bit of space down the right-hand side and just getting over for his 11th try of the campaign. But it wasn't greeted with too much enthusiasm by the St Helens supporters, I must say.
Well, the one advantage, they will be playing towards their own crowd in the second half. And this is an important conversion.
Sculthorpe has kicked it. No problems about that. And I think that will do for the first half. There's the half-time siren. Well, St Helens with something to shout about in the end. And they started with the first points of the half. They finished with the last points of the half. In between, it was a Wigan virtuoso display. First from Julian O'Neill, and then progressively throughout the team. 34 points to 8. Wigan Warriors over St Helens. Julian O'Neill has had a field day, and so have Wigan. 34 points to 8.
In that first 40 minutes, and it is impossible to win any game when you've got a stat like that. Got to tighten that defence. I'm sure he's had plenty to say to them.
So the league leaders are at the moment well and truly getting taken to the cleaners. But there's 40 minutes to go, and you never say never when St Helens are on the field.
Be interesting to see how Stuart Raper has told his charges to take this opening 10 minutes. Maybe just take it and accept it. That's the big problem, I feel, is that guy going to be able to come back on the field of play? It's a big enough lead, of course it is, but it just gives me a little bit of doubt that Andy Farrell, we know he's gone into this game with a slight injury. Let's hope it is not worse.
Well, just a point about Andy Farrell as Adrian Lamb dabs the ball over and into the in-goal area. That's a great kick, and it's a wonderful chase, and he's trapped in goal. Lamb with the kick, but just a word about Farrell as we watch it again. He has just broken the points record in derby matches against St Helens that was held by the great and the legendary Jim Sullivan. So what a name to put your own name alongside in the history books. Andrew Farrell. Let's get to half-time news. Bill.
Well, the news of Andy Farrell, Eddie, is that he's got a dead leg, according to his coach Stuart Raper. He hopes he's going to be able to reappear, but you figure that the longer this goes on, and if Wigan continue to dominate, then they probably won't risk their captain again, because Stuart Raper delighted with the performance of his side, and he really just wants them to maintain that in this second half. Turn the screw, if you like, on St Helens. We'll see what they do now.
Wigan are on the charge here, and it's Danny Tickle. Back to Bill in a moment after we see what happens here. Terry Newton standing, and again having the second effort to go for the line, which he does, but he's pushed back by Peter Shields and Cunningham. Connolly the dummy half, O'Neill, Lamb, he jinked away from one, and he still manages to get the ball away. And here they come, Wigan once again. And that's Sean O'Loughlin. And here's Terry O'Connor Forward pass is the referee and touch judge's decision, so that's the turnover. Sorry, Stephen, let's get back to Bill.
Well, Ian Millward didn't seem too dejected by his side's performance, just recognition of the fact that they haven't done themselves justice in that first 40 minutes, whereas Wigan have 45% completion rate from St Helens, and you're not going to achieve anything with that sort of level of completion, says the St Helens coach. So they really have got to work on that, do what they do best, and hope that they can inch their way back into this game, because you get the feeling if Saints can score first in this second half and maybe just rattle Wigan a little bit, then all hope is not lost. But they've got to do something soon.
They have got to do something soon. Paul Sculthorpe went for a 40-20. He just ended about 5 metres short. It's not, well, it's obviously important where he kicks it from, but it didn't go over the 20-metre line.
I think his foot was over the line as well, so it wouldn't have been given.
It was the 30, Stephen.
Yeah.
No, it was the 30 where he kicked it from.
Okay.
Stay in the back. Kieran, stay in. Big 5.
Big pitch this, isn't it?
No way. Keep your 5. Stay in, Kieran.
What's 30 or 40? You tried telling the St Helens fans. They know what 30 is.
Yeah,
34.
They know that Wigan are only 6 away from 40.
But I'll just mention the fact that Wigan, they have to realise and still be confident. They can't just sit back and say, well, we've got the spoils.
Oh, no.
And that's why it's important to show to St Helens in these opening minutes that we are looking for more and more points.
Yes, you could take it easy, maybe, against, quote, lesser, unquote, opposition in the Super League, but not against this lot. And I don't know where you would pick the lesser opposition, actually, the season that we have had.
Yeah, it's been a belter, hasn't it? And it'll go right down to the wire.
Top and bottom. Lamb with a diagonal kick. Another great chase from Wigan to try and trap the man with the ball, which is exactly what they do. And Adrian Gardner had nowhere to go then. This is Darren Albert now. Anthony Stewart now. Sean Hoppy.
St Helens need a little bit of classy play, and they've got to start pointing the finger now. Paul Sculthorpe, stand up, please.
Oh, that was a high slap in the face by O'Connor on joint. The referee just giving me a little caution on the run. Martin went for a 40-20. It was diffused by Brian Carney, the Irishman, running towards the defence again. He's halted by Sculthorpe, and Sculthorpe all over the Irishman.
And again, we see these players having a real old go at the official. He thought that the tackle had not been completed, and to be fair, he seemed to be moving forward. I cannot remember whether Russell Smith shouted held. Obviously he had.
Well, let's just remind ourselves of the situation at the top of the table after that match on Friday. As you can see, St Helens there with a 389 points difference. That's almost been wiped out now. Bradford 30 points behind them. And Wigan, if they have designs on second spot, and they do, they win here, they beat Bradford, and they're right in the thick of it. And of course, as Cassidy takes the ball forward again, the match against Bradford is live next Saturday on Sky Sports 1 at 6. Radlinski!
What a tackle there from Stewart. It had to be. He was a try-saver. You know, Eddie, I would be thinking for this Wigan outfit to go for a 1 point. Just keep pegging away.
O'Neill, Lamb, wide, back on the inside to Cassidy. At 34-8, you would still say get the 1 point.
Well, it should just stop the rhythm that St Helens may get.
Oh, O'Connor was nearly in then. Shields hanging on to his ankle. Here's a chance. Newton's over the line. He hasn't got it down, though.
Or was it on the last into the turnover? It was.
Change over, it was on the
And a good option. I know it may look a little bit silly, but to just get in that 1 point, everyone has to just restart, come up, kick off yet again, and it will just irritate this St Helens side. I think it's a good ploy.
Barry Ward for St Helens. Thought about the offload. It was a bit too dangerous with 3 all round him. Cunningham.
Oh, what a big hit there.
Harvey Howard
is grabbing No, it's Shields, isn't it?
Peter Shields, is that the hamstring that's gone?
I think so. He took a step and he got hit really, really heavy. I think he's done for the day.
Oh, it's going from bad to worse. It's a shocking day for St Helens. Sculthorpe. Last tackle. Joint. Martin on halfway. Angled kick between Radlinski and Ainsko. Ainsko picks it up. Peter Shields is still out there, by the way. Brian Carney withdrawn and Mark Smith comes on.
Well, obviously sent the message that give me a chance to maybe run it out, but it's a huge gamble. But they look all at sea, don't they? We haven't seen those wonderful runs from Kieran Cunningham as yet. Okay, they didn't have a lot of possession in the first half, but he's the man, and maybe Sculthorpe, that can just change them around.
Down the short side with Newton. He gets the ball away. Oh, what about that for handling skills from Radlinski?
Incredible.
In mid-air, and he flicked it into the arms of Adrian Lamb. This is the last. It's with O'Neill. That's off the outside of the boot. Stewart collects it. And then O'Loughlin comes in for the tackle.
Well, even the mistakes are going Wigan's way. Not the best kick, really, but it turned out exceptionally well, especially when they look at the pass here. Unbelievable.
Oh, Wigan, they haven't got it back. It was stolen. Oh, no, he's offside. He's got them for offside. I thought his original signal was for stealing, and there was a little bit of discontent from Terry Newton as well, but it's offside.
He had about half a dozen to select there. I said in the first half that Russell Smith was, this is it here, and that, well, that's the second occasion they never made any attempt to get back the 10.
Shields has bowed to the inevitable, by the way. He is off, and I think Barry Ward has also just disappeared into the tunnel as well.
Now they can Saints go through a passage of play where maybe they get 2 sets of 6. Failed to do that in the first half.
Here's Darren Britt. St Helens supporters, give them credit, they are still singing when the Saints go marching in. They have a penalty here.
Well, that's silly play by Terry O'Connor. He's had a fine game. And I just get the feeling, Eddie, that this Wigan side has said, shut up shop, we've got enough. You never get enough against this Saints side.
Well, if Wigan can score 34 in the first half, so can St Helens in the second. Nickel now. Two tackles gone. Saints fans on their feet. Sculthorpe, great ball. Stankovic, wide. Gleeson, further wide. In
Great
touch.
defence.
The youngsters coming to the fore then with Radlinski.
What superb cover defence here. Wonderful hands. Bang. Talk about a good team effort there.
Gardner thought he was on his way to a try.
And full credit to Gardner. He'd already launched himself. See how he goes and follows it, the full-back. Watch him. He knows that he's going to go for the outside. Bang. But he'd already done his job.
Fantastic example of how to play full-back in this game from Chris Radlinski.
And full credit to the winger as well. And now Chris Joint has given away a silly penalty. I mentioned the fact that Saints failed to have consecutive 6, as they couldn't even get one out of that one either.
Well, before the match, there's a double change by Ian Milwood. Before the match, there was a hint of a problem in the St Helens dressing room with injuries, and the injury toll must be mounting.
Let him walk, quickly walk!
He changed his team at the very last minute. Britt with a good hit. That was off the shoulder.
He's got to be offside.
Knock on. Knock on.
The first one was all right, went backwards. The second one we got an hand. It might be Chris Radlinski.
I'm not so sure that when Cassidy knocks on this ball and then it's pushed forward.
Wait, Tom.
I think Lamb was in front.
That was all right, and then he said he thought that Radlinski got a touch on it.
Yeah, maybe Radlinski on to Harvey Howard. Either way, Saints have got the possession.
Well, I've just been talking about the St Helens injury problems. Bill has got some news.
Well, yeah, it's mounting up just this afternoon. I mean, they started without Sean Long, but Mickey Himes got a cut to his head. Darren Albert is off with what they say is a dead leg. He's got his right thigh heavily iced. And now Peter Shields has gone off with what looked like a hamstring problem. So it really is coming at the wrong time for St Helens.
It is. This attack, though, is at the right time for them. And it's with Sonny Nicol. He bounces off one. He's got three of them after him, and they haul him down just short. What an effort from Nicol. Cunningham at dummy half. He'll try and pinch one himself, will he? He's wrapped up by this Wigan defence. That's 4 tackles gone.
Wonderful play from both sides. Stankovic starting the roll.
Wide and not very handsome from Tommy Martin.
Idea was there. Knew that Wigan had the compact sliding defence.
Needed a man on stilts to get this.
See there, Ainscough. The try was there for the taking. Ainscough had taken the gamble. He'd gone in early. And if there's anybody out there that can make the sliding defence pay the price, it's this fella, Tommy Martin. But not with a pass like that. And again, St Helens failed to apply the pressure to Wigan.
London 4, Hull 6. Salford coming back against Halifax. Warrington, they might be home and hosed against Castleford. And Widnes, just 2 points to the good against Wakefield. Don't forget, Sky Sports News for all the results and the league tables. And Sky Text as well. You will particularly be interested in the Wakefield Widnes result, I'm sure, when we've left you this afternoon. Here's Jamie Ainscough. Releases the pass, but not the best. And it's gathered in by Radlinski.
I know one thing, Stuart Raper, the Wigan coach, will get the message out. Hey, come on. We don't need to play outstanding football. Let's just play basic football. And that's on the line.
Lamb hoists it out on the full. On the line is out. And you'll see the puff of whitewash that comes up. So Saints turning the screw, and they'll do so more. Wigan caught offside.
And yet again, Eddie, I just have that feeling about this Wigan outfit that, and he's got to be penalised. He has not done the 10, and that's quick thinking there. And he'll bring the captain in charge,
Adrian Lamb.
You know, that's the reason I'm doing it. Could have put somebody in bin. We've had 3 or 4 penalties in fairly quick time for different offences. It's in your hands now. Okay.
Quick thinking though by Paul Sculthorpe. He knew that Howe was just hanging around.
Here's Darren Britt. Saints are certainly digging deep in this second half. It's been a triumph that they've kept Wigan scoreless for 15 minutes now. And they're examining the line here with Bennett. And Wigan are defending for all their worth, even though they're 34-8 up. Cunningham, a stab to the in goal. He couldn't get out the way, Hodgson.
Now they'll get the second bite, and he knows how important that is. Neat little chip through. Good work by Cunningham. And Stuart Raper, who were looking at the scoreboard, look at that. Apply the pressure. Failed to do that throughout this game until this very moment. Now they will get it.
Well, Wigan on a warning. Any more infringing and someone will be in the sin bin. And that would make it interesting for another 10 minutes. Lamb with a drop out from underneath the sticks. Gets it to halfway. Nicol. Big effort from Nicol. He won't be at St Helens next year, 33 years of age. Being allowed to let go. Joint just slipped, went underneath the legs of Terry Newton. Here goes Cunningham again. Now it's with Sean Hoppy, the Kiwi. Another one to retire at the end of this year. Joint to drive it in. Good tackle by Danny Tickle. Cunningham. Oh, Britt went without it.
The chance was begging as well, and he knows it. Quick pass from Cunningham. He should have taken that. No one would have stopped him.
Stuart Raper goes downstairs early. Not happy with the opening 16 and a half minutes of the second half.
Well, he's got to get the message through that what we've been saying is come on, fellas. Don't put the cue on the rack. There's still the colours left to pot. And that colour is blue at the moment.
Here now is Connolly.
Just amazing, you know, in the first half it was St Helens that was hanging back, not getting into the face of it. Now Wigan are doing exactly the same thing. They're allowing Saints to get over that advantage line with considerable ease.
Grit all over Craig Smith. He's penalised now. Well, Phil, is it a mini triumph for St Helens that they've kept Wigan scoreless for 17 minutes?
I don't think so, really, because I think in the game it was probably St Helens' turn to attack. We've just seen Wigan withstand everything they could throw at them, and the mistake we saw there, Stuart Raper just coming in, looking a little bit tense, but they did start the second half very well, Wigan. I mean, talking a snooker analogy, they played with a lot of safety. Whenever they turned the ball over to St Helens, it was very close to the St Helens line, and they said, look, if you want to score, you've got 6 tackles and 90 metres to go.
Here's Craig Smith again, trying to bulldoze his way through.
Just try for the sticks and go for the 1 point. Just irritate them.
You'll irritate me if you say that once more. I'm sure you're irritating the Wigan fans as well. They want 6 every time.
They just want to win and 2 valuable points, whether it be 1 or 101.
I was going to say you irritate people every minute of every day. A dab to the in goal. Hoppy has made a mess of it.
And it's not a try.
O'Neill.
It's not a hat-trick. I think he fumbles this. Yeah, well, it's a knock-on. He does not get downward pressure with any control. He thinks he's got the hat-trick.
Well,
he's going to be denied.
That's your opinion.
Yeah, it went backwards, so it's play on. And that's a knock-on, surely. But they'll go frame by frame, and if he's got the fingers on it, I think it just moves away. Now then, has he got fingers on it? Pretty hard to see here. Frame by... Well, maybe it'll be given.
But it stopped.
It appeared that way. They'll go, as I say, frame by frame.
Is it a hat-trick try, this, for Julian O'Neill?
I'm going to say yeah.
You said no a minute ago.
I know, but I've changed my mind. Just like the video referee. That's why he's looking at it.
Just like a woman.
You can go home if you like.
O'Neill waits for his hat-trick.
TRY.
It's given. Julian O'Neill gets the hat-trick. He's not impressed. O'Neill and Lamb, he is. A big smile on Stewart's face. Well, on another day, that might have gone another way. And maybe, just maybe, on another day, it might have been more vital than that. But O'Neill gets the hat-trick try.
This is the way to do it with the kick through. Quite superb, wasn't it? Made a real meal of it, did Hoppy. And the result is that Mr. O'Neill gets the hat-trick. What a game he's had. Julian O'Neill, and the man who supplied the kick, Adrian Lamb. We often say that if your 2 halfbacks are working in sync, it's going to be very hard to stop, and they have proved that. It has been Adrian Lamb the provider today, and this fella has finished them off big style. Hat-trick. And Willie had the extra 2 points to this.
Had with an H, like Hodgson with an H.
Had. What's it like to be perfect?
Peter will tell you.
Yeah.
O'Neill with this conversion. Misses. First blot on Julian O'Neill's day. 38-8 though. No blot on Wigan's day.
Now they'll go for the 1 point. It has been a wonderful exhibition of fine rugby league football from this Wigan outfit, to be fair. They just went to sleep slightly. The defence sort of held back.
They're back.
But now that this fella has gone in for the touchdown.
Julian O'Neill's just scored the first hat-trick in Super League against St Helens side since Jason Robinson. Remember him? He got a hat-trick in 1997 at Knowsley Road.
Pinching the ball.
And Another penalty to Wigan.
Not surprising. They're desperate to try to get the football. No doubt in anybody's mind, Stankovic, especially not in the head of Russell Smith, the official.
Well, he took the nod from his touch judge, actually. Far side, waited, and the touch judge signalled. No doubt in the officials' minds.
A lot of people perhaps they'll look at this injury crisis that you spoke about on the St Helens side, but quite honestly, Wigan have just blitzed them. They have not allowed St Helens, apart from the odd periods of play, they've just controlled it, haven't they?
They have, and they have the confidence now, obviously, to offload. And mind you, they were doing that with gay abandon earlier on. This is Danny Sculthorpe, who's on. 23 years of age today, the man with 24 on his back. Younger brother of Paul Sculthorpe in the opposition. He spent some time with the former Wigan hooker Martin Hall at Rochdale recently. Lamb with a hanging kick out wide. Did that come off a St Helens hand? If it did, he would have been offside there, Gleeson, but the referee says off Ainscough. Here's Stewart again.
Stuart Raper must feel that he definitely has a win in his pocket. No, it came off Ainscough. Knocked him back. Good decision by the officials. But I think Stuart Raper now will try to get the message out and say, OK, we won the game, but let's play a different game now. We want to make sure that St Helens do not score.
He's given the knock-on against Darren Britt. I have the feeling that this is one day St Helens supporters will not be talking about for years to come. And neither will he.
Listen, 5 minutes after this game's gone, there'll be no mention whatsoever, but the cherry and white, the fans here for Wigan, they'll certainly sing the praises of that man, Stuart Raper.
He's got a bit of an upper hand, actually, over Ian Millwood in matches between these two. Lamb, Craig Smith.
And you've got to respect Stuart Raper as well, with the fact that after that loss at Hull, he was quite open-minded about it and said, listen, some of our stars aren't working, and if they don't work, I'll bring the youngsters back in. Good kick up the backside, works sometimes.
It's worked today because Raper's going to pick up his 6th victory.
Knock on. 2 knock-ons. They'll put the scrum down now.
I think it was the first knock-on
which came from
against
St Helens. Yeah.
Yes, head and feet to Wigan. 6th victory on the way for Stuart Raper from 8 attempts against Saints.
It's there and ball, Chris. Your man knocked it onto him.
Well, Gardner got the fingertips to it, and even at the second attempt, he couldn't get it.
Keep 5 lads, get in, John.
Now then, this is a good opportunity to try your set moves. Where's the fullback, Radlinski?
O'Loughlin. O'Neill went through his arms and went backwards. Wigan have lost a bit of ground here, though Connolly's got the ball under pressure from Hoppy.
Wait, lads. 1.
Ainscough. Drive-in by Danny Sculthorpe.
Big opportunity for this fella. You've got to keep your mind open that you're going to be in the playoffs. Anything can happen. An injury here or there, you could be there. You could be in the grand final.
A week ago, Danny Sculthorpe playing for Rochdale at Doncaster. Here today on the end of a Wigan hiding. But on the right end of a Wigan hiding, if he is onside. Sculthorpe and Radlinski exchanging a little grin before this. Now then, is Chris Radlinski onside?
Pretty hard to see, especially from that shot. Just starts to come into the picture a few frames on. So they take the high wide shot. Yeah, he's okay. This will be the try.
I think it's actually the man behind him that scores as well, Jerry.
And I think it... Was it O'Loughlin that scores, Eddie?
I think it is.
I think it is. I think Radlinski's taken out. Yeah, it's O'Loughlin.
It is. It's Sean O'Loughlin is going to get the credit for this.
Yeah, it was Radlinski that was taken out.
He was actually behind Radlinski.
Yeah, so this will be TOI.
So,
what a day for the Wigan fans.
Try is given. Sean O'Loughlin. His first appearance against St Helens. The young man who made his debut only in June of this year. And he has come up with his first try against the old enemy as well.
He may be young, but he's certainly got an old head on the shoulders. He's had a fine game. Little doubt in my mind that there's a big future for this fella. And the provider yet again with a superb kick. And he finished it off. This is what it meant to the coach. You little beauty.
O'Neill adds 2 more points. I confess, I noticed just a little touch of anxiety in the voice of Stuart Raper yesterday, but he is enjoying this 80 minutes now.
Well, he was disappointed with their performance at Hull, and rightly so.
He's full of cold, by the way, as well.
Keep going, lads.
Does that make a difference?
Keep back.
The lad's not well.
Well, I think he'll just walk up and down Wigan with his underpants to try to get pneumonia. If that's the case, with a play like this.
Julian O'Neill has registered 28 points today. We mentioned that Andy Farrell has eclipsed the great Jim Sullivan in points against St Helens, but Julian O'Neill with 28 points, it's a Wigan record for a single match against St Helens. Quite a day for the men in cherry and white.
So dominant in one particular area, and that's in the forwards, and Terry O'Connor, Terry Newton, they really have worked hard. They've been the workhorses, and they've allowed the 2 half-backs. This fella's had a super game, hasn't he? Adrian Lamb.
He's had a great second half of the season since he stepped up to the plate when Farrell dropped out of the team altogether injured.
Well, I disagree with you, Eddie. I think he's been playing well all the way through the season.
Playing well, but he's had a great second half.
A great turn.
Playing well all season, a great second half to the season. 6-4, Hull still lead London. Halifax still leading Salford. That could be the end of Salford, because Warrington 29-14. That could be the end of Castleford in the top 6. Widnes are closing.
Well, it's
wow,
important.
What an end to the season.
It's important now with Castleford losing that London try to get off. They're in with a great chance for the 6. It's been a super year, hasn't it?
Well, we've got 8 into 6. That won't go. We've got 4 into 1 about relegation, and that won't go either. It's fantastic. Real battle, top, bottom and middle.
5, release! 5!
There's little doubt that the 2 half-backs, Julian O'Neill, Adrian Lamb, have completely outplayed their opposites. At first at half-back was Mickey Hyam, and then when Tommy Martin came on, but it has made no difference whatsoever.
2!
Adrian Lamb has controlled things out there, being the provider. And the hat-trick man, Julian O'Neill, I think he can start thinking TikTok.
It's inside.
Adrian Lamb's gone for a 40-20.
And he's got it.
He's got it. Just turning the screw ever deeper.
In any other game, other than the fact that Julian O'Neill has played outstanding, scored so many points, you would have to say that he would be unlucky not to be named man of the match, Adrian Lamb. He has been the provider for so much wonderful football from Wigan this afternoon. But you cannot go any further, surely, than Julian O'Neill. Whether my colleague on the sideline, Phil Clark, feels that same way, we won't know until the final minute.
Like an old man.
But he's happy. He won't care who gets a TikTok.
Lamb again here from the base of the scrum. Joint and Barry Ward and Hyam getting to him.
2, release.
Danny Tickles underneath all of that. Did he lose it?
Just.
Sculthorpe, Connolly.
He's lost it too.
Saints have it back.
No advantage in here.
So we'll put the scrum down 10 metres from the line, so there's no advantage to St Helens.
And they've still got just over 10 minutes to endure as this St Helens side. And maybe Ian Millwood, the Saints coach, will be having to look at maybe starting now, Eddie, with a solid side instead of experimenting. It was a big gamble. It didn't pay off for him.
Well, if
he knows it.
Yes, but if he's got injuries, Steve-O, to be fair to him, what else can he do? He's got to try and safeguard.
Try to play
players.
someone that's fit. Don't take a gamble in that way either.
Let him on one.
I'd rather have a young novice that's fully fit than an experienced player that's going to hamper an injury and maybe even make it worse.
Listen, in the last 2 weeks, you've dismissed Bradford's chances, and you're now giving St Helens a load of stick. I'll tell you something, they'll all be in the mix come the end of the year because a play like this.
Of course they will.
They're keeping the ball alive. Hoppy eventually is grounded. Sculthorpe, Danny Sculthorpe, could have been penalised for a flop. Here is brother Paul. Off it goes to Stewart. That's the last for St Helens, this set of 6.
Came in pretty late, and Craig Smith there.
Another St Helens man down. Tommy Martin back on the inside to Barry Ward. Tried to get it away to Darren Britt. Gave it instead to Craig Smith.
Well, to get back there. He came late on a flop, and then Craig Smith got back into a position to take the intercept.
It's Anthony Stewart, by the way, as you watch that replay, who is hobbling back. Talking of the end of the season, the Super League Grand Final is down for October the 19th at Old Trafford. And after that, we have the Great Britain against New Zealand Test Series in November. If you need any information, ring the Rugby Football League 0113 2329 111. They'll be open for business first thing in the morning. And it's a 6-day week now for them at the Rugby League until the end of the season. And of course, Super League 7's Grand Final is live from Old Trafford on that Saturday evening, 19th of October, 6 o'clock. It's live on Sky Sports 1, as is the entire New Zealand tour. Club matches, representative matches and the test matches, all of them live with us on Sky Sports. Well, you would expect nothing else, would you?
Whoever gets there, Eddie, it'll be a classic game.
Forward.
Yeah.
Craig Smith was on his way.
I think it was just about to send Terry O'Connor out there, and he said, "Oh, don't worry about it." No doubt that it was just a touch forward.
They're all tough, mate, aren't they, when they stop and try?
Well, that's one that didn't come off for Adrian Lamb.
Adrian Lamb must have just said to Russell Smith, that was a tough call.
Too quick.
But he's been a magician out there as a little halfback, Adrian Lamb. And it's, I know St Helens haven't had much of the football this afternoon. They've missed far too many tackles, made too many errors. But you've got to say that maybe what you were talking about, the man of steel, everyone seems to think it's Sculthorpe and Adrian Lamb. I think Lamb has just taken a little bit of a head in front.
Well, no doubt they'll be burning the midnight oil long into the night that they decide who takes the Man of Steel trophy this year.
Well, it's not an easy task.
Sculthorpe.
And it's not something that you've got to take lightly, and I'm sure that all the media feel that way.
Martin. Back it goes to Gardner. To Bennett, I beg your pardon. Trapped in possession on the last. Takes the turnover.
And full credit for Saints to at least keep trying. Tried the power play, and Julian O'Neill just gets up and looks at the opposition.
We've got some more scores coming in shortly from these vital matches being played elsewhere. London has pinched a win off Hull, 10-6, and Dennis Moran, with 3 seconds remaining, coming up with a vital try. Warrington have beaten Castleford, back-to-back wins for Paul Cullen. First time this year that Warrington have got back-to-back wins. So they are inching towards safety. Cassidy, and wide to Hodgson, back on the inside. Wigan are inching towards another try. Lamb with the pass.
Was he taken
Worth the
out?
gamble. Ainsco's going over to plonk it down. The referee will hand it on to the video ref.
Well, he's got the experience there, Jamie Ainscow, to play to the whistle. And if Sculthorpe is deemed to have taken the man before he gets the ball, this try will be given. Now Cassidy gets the ball away. Now then, Lamb throws the dummy, goes through. Ooh, it's a hard one to call. It was 50-50. Slow motion replay will show. Well, it's pretty hard to decide. I think they probably will give Sculthorpe the benefit of the doubt. He sort of, you can see that the ball's coming to him. And he just said that maybe at the same time. It's a big call, this. And remember, this is important for Wigan. They want as many points as possible.
Points difference, yes, you're right.
It's a big call, but I think that Sculthorpe will get the nod.
Was he tackled Radlinski without the ball? That's what I think Jerry Kershaw's looking at here.
Yeah. He's probably also looking at the fact that it wasn't a hand on it.
Well, here's the decision. Try not given. Knock on against Radlinski. Well, that shows you the little grimace. He knows that those 4 points and maybe 6 could, in 2 weeks' time, mean the difference between second and third. Now, first and second in the Super League after the weekly rounds will get the week off. I'll try and explain this to you. Third, fourth, fifth and sixth all play in the first weekend of the playoffs. It's sudden death football, though, this year for all teams involved. Third and fourth get home ties in that first week. Fifth and sixth obviously have to travel, and then we come into the second week and it gets a bit more complicated than that. But first and second get the week off, and the losers of that first v second in the second week of the playoff get the second chance. Do you understand?
Of course I do. You explained it perfect.
Clarkie, do you understand?
Yeah, I've got you. Although, just run through it again, Eddie.
Go on, tell us what you think.
Do you know, it's been a great team performance on Wigan. I thought that Saints threw a bit at them at the start of this second half, but I walked past the Wigan dressing room, you know, just as the half-time was finishing. Oh, another Wigan break, hang fire.
Indeed, Cassidy, and wide to Ainscow, who will not be denied this time, and who gets his second try of the match. Jamie Ainscow and Wigan, with that try, are on course for a half-century. 13 for Ainscow this year, not unlucky for him. If O'Neill kicks the conversion, Wigan have got 50.
What a beautiful delayed pass by Adrian Lamb yet again. That was out of the top drawer. World class. And we've said it so many times over the past few weeks that the second row of Mick Cassidy is playing like a teenager. Not surprising that Wigan have snapped him up with another contract, and this is what it meant to him. You beauty. And he knows that he has the magician on his side, Adrian Lamb.
St Helens supporters have seen enough. It has been too much to bear. Ainscow's second try. O'Neill's kick to make it 50. And Ian Millwood, not a day that he will remember. But I tell you what he'll do tomorrow. He'll just, in fact, what he'll do in about 5 minutes, he'll consign it to the memory bank and say, let's get on with winning the last two. Mind you, one of those is at London.
And that vital last.
And the other is against Hull.
You're a fountain of knowledge today, and I bow in your presence. It is not a grovel, it's just a bow.
Just polish my shoes while you're down there, will you? Conversion from O'Neill, and he's missed it. (48-8). A big day for Wigan.
Well, their confidence was low after they lost to Hull last week. And like Ian Millwood, as Eddie's already said, he'll say, well, we'll just push that to one side. It didn't really happen. And get on with life. And that's what Wigan have done. And it shows you that they've got the great spirit.
Bradford away next Saturday, live on Sky Sports. Leeds here to round the season off. Saints, they've got Hull at home, and they've got London away last weekend of the season. London to face St Helens with a top 6 berth beckoning for them. What a match that could be.
And it could decide whether St Helens
finish top.
Well, not only top, but maybe in that second position. And London would maybe have to win to get that top 6 position. Well,
Salford have lost against Halifax. That should be okay for Halifax now.
oh, that was forward of mine.
And it's been given.
And he looks at his little half-back partner and says, well, we've got away with everything today. We've got to do something wrong.
That position at the foot of the table, there's the forward pass, only a yard. Wakefield and Witness is critical now. And Salford and Wakefield, it would appear, well, it's definite, isn't it? Just about definite now. It's either the Salford or Wakefield for the drop.
Yeah, and Salford have to win their 2 remaining and hope
that something goes wrong for Wakefield.
So it's a big ask for the Salford Reds, but they won't give it in. They'll try right to the end.
That was a massive match for them today. Talking about not giving it in right to the end, here comes the Saints with Joint. Wigan defending stoutly though, despite that scoreline. They scored at the death of the first half Saints. Can they do it again with Martin and Britt? This is the last one. Last tackle, Hyam. Wide it goes to Barry Ward. Out the back door. Bobbed all over the show. And Ainscough has it back for Wigan, and that will just about do, I think. Listen, the Wigan fans counting down for victory. And victory is theirs. 48 points to 8. They restricted St Helens to just 1 try in the last minute of the first half. 8 tries themselves. This result will put Bradford on top of the table tonight on points difference ahead of St Helens. Saints will go second. Wigan are closing in on third. It is a wonderful day for Stuart Raper. He has now won 6 from 8 confrontations against the Saints since he has been here at the JJB Stadium. The St Helens supporters who stayed behind, generous, and there's the brothers, Danny and Paul. But the St Helens supporters who stayed till the end, they generously applaud their team off the field. But it's the Wiganers who are celebrating most. What a day to be a Wigan fan. They've won by 48 points to 8. Julian O'Neill's got the Tissot watch. He's the man of the match. He's talking here to Bill.
Julian, congratulations on a great afternoon's work. There you go, man of the match, and what a performance. What a day to come up with a performance like that.
Yeah, it was really great. You know, it was a 17-man effort and the coaching staff. We really had to have a look at ourselves after Hull. You know, we had that many opportunities, but we just couldn't get the points. And I think today, you know, pushing the next gap in our market defence was tenfold upon last week.
But does this exceed your expectations? I mean, when you go into a game against Saints, obviously you want a top draw performance, but to put that sort of score on them must be beyond what you thought.
Yeah, we didn't really go into the game thinking about, you know, the scoreline. We just wanted to have a really good, solid performance, and we knew in our hearts if we could have a solid performance right across the park, especially the ruck, the points will look after themselves. It's just an added bonus to get away with 30.
Well done.
Thanks. Can I especially say thanks to Tissot and a cheerio back to Australia to Johnny Rotten and Marge.
Well done, Julian. Let's bring Adrian Lamb in. Close runner for man of the match, Adrian. But what a time to come up with a poor performance like this. A, on the back of that whole letdown, and B, when you got to go to Bradford, you couldn't have wished for a better performance at this time.
Yeah, we're disappointed. I'm sure Julian just said about last week's performance. It was in our own hands to try and get that second spot. Still a chance, slight chance. All we can do is keep winning now, you know, and it's about us today more than anything, and the guys responded pretty good.
But was it, I mean, you obviously got a kick up the backside after that whole performance.
Yeah, we did, but we're disappointed with ourselves, you know. We're professional players and just letting ourselves down there. It was a goal to finish in the top two and we're so close, but that's the way things go, you know. It's a home game, Sunday afternoon, beautiful afternoon for rugby, and good win.
Well done, Adrian. I think that Wigan coach Stuart Raper's here now. Well, you said you were going to, after the whole defeat, you were going to give him a roasting. I think you got the right response, didn't you?
Yeah, the players have answered back. A few critics of our performance last week. I'm really proud of them. You know, Julian won man of the match, but I think you could have picked a number of players. Mick Cassidy, Adrian Lamb. You know, a lot of guys had great performances, and it's what I asked of the players, and they've answered back really well. I'm proud of them.
Thanks very much, Stuart. Phil, this Wigan side goes to Bradford now. What a game that is now with what's at stake.
Just goes to show how quickly the whole game can turn around. 2 weeks ago, the St Helens side demolished the Bulls on their own ground, but today, well, they were, you know, just not at the races. You looked at their faces and it was a case of, we're not celebrities, but get us out of here at the end of the match. They just had enough.
But, I mean, as we've seen from Saints before, they can be Jekyll and Hyde, and you wouldn't bet against them still getting top spot.
I think the whole sport can be Jekyll and Hyde, can't it? It's so hard to peak and perform at the right of the day. Wigan, you know, they withstood what Saints could throw at them earlier in the match, but I think St Helens might be developing a little bit of a complex. That's the third time in the last 6 months now that they've been able to beat Wigan, and Wigan's confidence will be rising with that one.
Thanks a lot, Phil.
Thank you.
Well, let's just take a check now on all the results from this weekend. Latest score from